look at that, comes over, and then I got a crack.
Wow.
If you put your hand on my back of my hamstring, I'm not sure if we're there on our land yet. I'm not too high, but you should be a spokesperson for Chevy. Like a rock. Let's just look. That is just a solid piece of granite. Press back right here with your elbow into my elbow. There.
Ooh, that was a good one.
You're looking to our left. This would be the front part of your body.
So I'm facing
you're
this way?
facing this way.
Yeah.
These are those little thing right here. These are the joints that you can feel in the back. Those are the spinuses. We're down here in your lower back here.
Okay.
Your spinal cord is this dark gray. This is the spinal canal. This is the tube that your spinal cord lies in. That's cerebral spinal fluid that nourishes your spinal cord. These are the joints back here, and then these are the vertebral body. So it's like we're looking at like that. We're looking at this from the side.
Okay.
Okay, and so what I can see on the bone, so all of that, it should be completely gray like that. It should be like this.
Like this area?
This vertebral body, see how it's all gray? I mean, there's a little bit of white back there.
Right.
That's all stress. This is all stress here.
Oh, wow.
Stress, all of that. These are,
all these?
all that is not normal. These are injuries. That's
And this
fluid.
is down here?
Lower back.
Wow.
This is the vertebral body. Like we might call that a stress fracture. Do you understand? These are now again, it's not a collapsed vertebrae. You understand? But if you kept going, eventually they call it a collapsed vertebrae, or the actual compression fracture. The actual vertebrae would actually collapse when that goes all the way through to from the back to the front. Does that make sense? If you keep stressing out that bone. Now the bone has no feeling in here. So I have people all the time that have compression fractures, right? But you're gonna have, if this has what I'm seeing on the vertebral body, then I know these joints are injured. Mm-hmm. These joints can't be very happy, but we don't have the technology to Star Trek zoom in and see the microscopic injuries in the joints. But at the very least, the weight is off the joint, it's on the vertebral body, and there's evidence of some discs that are starting to get injured. So that little disc that's coming out there. Make sure I get better pictures. And there's compression here. So the disc should be kind of thick throughout the whole. See how they're getting tapered? Mm-hmm. It's kind of real thick here, and then it's tapering at the back. So that you're getting some level of diminishment in the size of the foramen. Let me see if I get a better picture from it. That's the bone is growing. Some of the disc material starting to come out there. And so again, your body's going to start, and this was taken 5 years ago. So and this was taken laying down. So we have no weight on this. So if you take another picture with some gravity on this, like a tire that's on a car that's flat, when you lift the car in the air, the tire doesn't look so flat. So kind of a disservice to take a laying down picture. This is as best as it's going to look, and I still see injury. So if we had it upright and now 5 years, we would see a further aging of what's been aged in here. And so like even this right here, that disc has actually cracked that bone right there. See how it's supposed to be like, that's completely normal. That's normal. See how it's nice and smooth. Mm-hmm. Look at that, it comes over, and then I got a crack.
Wow.
That disc has actually went up there and cracked that. Now what happens is there's going to be acid that gets released from the bone that's going to liquefy, and it takes about 10 to 15 years. So we might be starting to get into that now more than 5 years ago. But that disc's going to start bulging. And then when that disc starts bulging, like I was showing on the model, your body's going to start compensating and moving things around to try to move the hot potato. So, and then what you just told me, Ed, I did a lot of Ironmans and marathons and running. And so we got a lot of compression on the spine. So what's the care, Ed? We got to get the stress off these discs. I want the stress off these vertebral bodies. We got to open these up. We need to get the curve back to your spine. Notice it's, straight, if not reversed. And then you have all your curve. You have way too much curve at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Right? So curve isn't created or destroyed, it just changes places. So when you lose the curve here, it goes into an accentuated hump in your upper back.
Yep.
Or it becomes a hyperlordosis at the bottom. So we're actually gonna have your knees bent. When we're doing the stretching at the end, we'll have your knees bent to take the curve out of the bottom, and we're gonna put the curve more evenly throughout your back where it's supposed to be, which is throughout your lumbar. The whole spine needs to be 45-degree curve, spread evenly.
Well, mine's all in the thoracic there. It's like a hunchback in the middle.
Correct. It's gone the opposite way.
Yeah.
So you've lost, that's most likely due to the loss of the curve in your neck. When this goes forward, this becomes accentuated.
Okay.
Right, so it's called coupled motion.
I think I told you I have developed tendinosis here too, and I wonder if I always wondered, could that be some of the reason my body's compensating to this way, to try and let off the right hamstring a little bit?
What I usually see with the hamstrings is that these muscles are going to get tasered by these nerves. So you're going to start tearing, inflaming, damaging these muscles because this is under too much stress. Now, without getting too if you put your hand on my back of my hamstring, I'm not sure if we're there in our relationship. I'm not too high, but just to feel. Hold on, to feel there. Now feel okay. Now watch. What feel what happens?
Tightens up.
Right? Feel that? Right? So the more weight that's on my toes, do you understand? The tighter your hamstrings get. And people will get lost in this bill forever. We need to stretch your hamstrings. We need to stretch it all out. I'm like, they're only tight because he's forward. Do you understand? And it's because if they don't contract, I'm going to fall over. Do you understand?
Right.
Now, why did I go forward? I showed you those holes get bigger. Right? And I'm noticing I'm getting a hunch in my upper back. So of course your hamstring, of course you have tendinosis. That would be a given to me.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to have, I'm sure you've torn it and it healed, it tore and it healed. And then because the nerves are upset because of what I can see on your lumbar MRI, I'm not surprised that the nerves that keep the nourishment and health of that tissue are going to be diminished.
Wow.
Have to be. The muscle is sustained by the nerve. That's what keeps the tissue healthy. If the nerve gets cut off, we call it atrophy. Right? You call it neurological atrophy. If you don't have that nerve from your back going to this, your hamstring will completely wither and fall apart, right? That nerve has to be healthy. And so I have evidence of nerve pressure at the very least, right? That there's nerve inflammation. Let's just see what happens when we alleviate that. We're dealing with about 2 inches. Your head's forward from the center of your shoulder, right? Your head's way off to the left.
Right?
See that pretty obvious there, Carl?
Yes, yeah.
Heads. So we got an injury on the right. We're going to feel it in a second. So it's really, do you understand? He's gone this way to get away from this right side. His head is now stuck away from the right. Do you understand?
Yep.
There's an injury on the right that has to be, you don't force the injury, you don't force the head back over to the right. You fix the injury on the right and then your head will want to be back over there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This can get a lot of debate in chiropractic. Do we just take the head and slam it over there? It's like, well, there's still something injured over there that your body intelligently got away from.
Yep.
And we could see it potentially with an MRI. We might see there's a disc bulging out on that side that's making your head go away from it.
Right.
And that would be, again,
Is that the pain? Like, it almost felt like everything's frozen up in here, and it would like be a pain in here, and like I couldn't reach back, and it just seemed like a big frozen mess.
Well, the joints, at the very least, the joints in your lower neck are going to give you pain there.
Okay.
Right? So the whole shoulder blade, this whole area, when the knuckles, we call this joint pain referral. So the knuckles in your lower neck are going to be under extra stress because of your head being forward.
Mm-hmm.
The head went forward because that makes the holes the nerves go through larger because we have disc injury. Right?
Wow.
So we have, and this took 10, 15, 20 years. This has been it's a culmination. You're in your 40s. I mean, this is about when it starts to, you're running into a wall of, I can't compensate anymore, Ed. I've been able to compensate in my 20s and I compensate in my 30s, but now there's nowhere, I have nowhere else to go. I have nowhere else to go. And that's the tragedy, that we weren't guided, the word lordosis, or nobody told you your head's 2 inches forward. You understand? That's your problem.
Right.
And I mean, if you put your hand on my back real simply, it's supposed to be supple, right?
Yeah, mine
Now watch
doesn't.
what happens if I just move my head forward 2 inches, watch.
Gets harder.
Got all tight, right?
Yeah.
It all got tight. Now watch, as I come back upright, it relaxes.
Yeah.
Right? So the tension is a result of the posture not being correct.
Right.
If I hold something heavy close to me, it's not as much work as if I hold it out in front of me. It's a lot. I can't hold this forever. So we're going to just loosen up the areas that typically aren't injured, start angling you back, try to get your head back, and then it's a treatment process to make your body want to be upright.
And what about hips too? So running, there was a while I thought I would never run without pain again. It would be right back here. And I was like, could it be an SI joint? I didn't know what it was. And it feels like this is always out.
Correct. Yeah. Let me give me 1 second. Let me see here. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're dealing with. Let me get in front of the camera so you can see it. So the left hip is high. So remember I was trying to show you with the tilting of that, when you tilt the spine, the holes get bigger?
Yep.
Right? So essentially, when I feel your hips, and one chiropractor might tell you your left leg's short. You see how this works, right? My left hip comes up. Now my left leg appears short because my hips are unlevel. The left hip comes up. When this left hip comes up, the holes on the right get bigger.
So that's what it's
Right?
trying to do.
There's disc injury. You understand? There's nerve pressure going down the right leg. It's what's causing your symptoms, and your body's going into avoidance to try to compensate. Now, the piriformis contraction is what you're seeing in the foot, right? That's the muscles in the glute. That the main one is the piriformis. So you have the piriformis that attaches to your sacrum, attaches to the greater trochanter of your femur, and when it contracts, does that make sense? It shortens back here and pulls,
opens this up.
Externally rotates your hip.
So if you look at the ribs, it almost looks like it's completely rotated. I'm sucking in now to prove a point. But
This is the scoliosis I was trying to tell you about earlier, right? There's a rotational component. I wouldn't be surprised if they took an X-ray of you that you have that functional scoliosis I was trying to show you.
Yeah.
Right, that tilting, and then it creates and then there's actually going to be a rotation. This is actually your whole torso is rotated.
Rotated, right.
On
This
your.
way.
That's a compensation. Cross this arm under. Yep. Bend both the knees for me. Okay. Take a deep breath in. We'll sit up. Sit up for me. Sit up. Deep breath in. Exhale. I got you. Here we go. Right here. Most important one. Let it go. Yeah. Frozen. Deep breath in. Head back. Relax your jaw, relax. Relax. Ain't nothing, yeah. Deep breath in. Yeah. All right. Has anybody done that to you before?
No.
Okay. What I just felt there was a complete lock of your chest.
Wow.
Like I'm asking you to bend your fingers, and it was like, do you understand? Well, it's pretty good, Ed. No, they're meant to do that,
Wow.
right? You have limited range of motion in your entire thoracic cage.
Right.
Got a little bit at the bottom there, nothing and nothing. So I asked about 12 vertebrae to move. I got maybe 2 to move.
Wow.
So you're running on a massive cylinder deactivation. You don't have your whole engine running. And if your chest is frozen, then you can better be sure that the areas above or below are going to be overstressed, because that doesn't work. There we go. Deep breath in. I got you, bud. Just open the jaw, relax the jaw. There you go. Nothing. Okay, breathe. Left side for me. Good. Okay, other side. Exhale. All right, face up for me. I got you.
Up.
A little bit. Yeah. Come on, let me see here. All right. Give me a second. Yeah. There it is. Hello. Got it. Yeah. Oh, geez, this knot over here. Here we go. There we go. Go deeper in a second. Now, your lower neck is very loose. That's why it's injured. That's why your head's 2 inches forward, right? So your lower neck's going to be the most eager student to answer all my questions when I'm trying to look at them and say, be quiet, and let the kids in the back that are falling asleep answer the questions, right? I want the upper neck doing it. But it's not going to be their initial, I got you, chin up. Very good. Here. Notice the difference there. Do you see the difference there? The left side moved a lot easier.
Yeah.
The right side was, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And so you can see where I'm going to be working. Back on straight. But there's an injury right here that made your head go away from it, probably at a teenage level. Only 20% of your back actually functions. And mechanically, it's healthy. Now, what happens is, medically, they look at the mechanically healthy areas, meaning the parts of your back that move, and they call it diseased, the bad parts. And I go, well, no, it's the mechanically healthy parts that are injured, but medically they call it a disease when a bone grows in response to being overstressed, right? When you overstress your muscles, they grow. In the same way, when you overstress a joint, it will grow. And so I want everybody to be careful. It's like, well, hold on, your body intelligently grew the muscle in response to stress, and it grew your joints in response to stress, just like you have calluses on your skin also, right? Your skin will thicken up when you stress the skin. Those aren't diseases. Your body, adapts to stress and thickens up the tissue. Your neck doesn't want to be curved very much. Your neck is supposed to be back here. Right? This is the normal lordosis that your neck should want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I got pretty strong thumbs.
I feel that.
They hurt.
Yeah.
because your neck doesn't want to be arched. And at the end of your visit, we're going to show you a neck dental roll, and it retains the work that I do on the table, and it molds that curve back in your neck. Right there. There's a mark already right there on your neck. And this is the lactic acid that's being produced because the head's translated, because the muscles are working harder to avoid this right side of your neck. So as we clean this, as we reduce the inflammation and reduce the injury on the right, you won't need to avoid it. Instead of forcing you back over here, your body will just naturally come back over here because it will notice, hey, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, instead of just like, let's just jam your head back over to the right. It's like, oh geez. Like,
yeah, that's why I didn't have anybody before you to be able to tell me why. Like, I'm like, why can't I just want my head in the middle of my body. Is that too much to ask?
But really, it's about, like, your neck doesn't want to bend. Like, watch one. It doesn't want to go, it doesn't want to arch. That's a problem. We call it the natural cervical lordosis. It's natural because it's developed in the first 6 months, year of life as a baby, and it can't be stopped if you hold your head against gravity. Every child at 1 year old has a natural curve in their neck. And this curve is designed to help, well, it is what allows the weight of the spine to be evenly spread over all the segments. So without the curve, you create pressure points whereby certain areas are under extra stress. And at 5 to 20, when we're sitting in school and looking down and then doing Ironmans and being, forward, all the stress on the front stretches out the ligaments on the back, and then you just become stuck forward. A little deeper here, I got you, bud. It's okay. There we go, I got your head. There we go, relax here. There it is, good, very good. Very nice. Yeah, it's like a drawer. Millimeter by millimeter, we close this right side. Feel that right there? That has to go in. And it doesn't feel like there's very much, if any, curve in your lower back. All of this it's about feels like as straight as can be. What we call your lumbar lordosis. So the same kind of thing in your neck. It's supposed to have a curve. You're supposed to have a curve right down in here. So the natural alignment has been altered. And then, of course, there's going to be muscle contractions. Of course, there's going to be avoidance and disc injuries. We won't too hard. Let me know. I'm gonna keep going deeper and deeper. Try to breathe through it. Here we go. These are the roots of your neck right here. So of course all these cables are inflamed because the head's forward. So it's like, yes, what'd you expect? Of course he's gonna have tension. Oh, you have tension in your upper back. Yes, his head's forward. Why did the head go forward? Oh, I don't know. That's your problem. So part of it is that this entire chest is all locked. So we gotta unlock your chest. So because this is so stiff, you understand this actually overstresses. This is where all your bending occurs, and then the overstressing of your lower neck makes your head go forward. So it can be just subtle injuries, and then the slow locking of your chest has now created these distortions. But this is pretty just a few moments, 30 minutes later. You gotta sit here and scrub this. It's like a stain in carpet. That's gotta be scrubbed for an hour. Right there. That's just not good. I mean, wow, that's just a solid piece of granite there, bud. You should be the spokesperson for Chevy. Like a rock. Let's just look. That is just a solid piece of granite. Oh,
got some clicking up there.
Mm-hmm.
God. No pain, no gain, huh?
It's like a bolt on a car that's rusted. You know, you got to put penetrating oil on it and let it soak, and then put a blowtorch on it, and you know the bolts have to turn. These joints need to move, and you know it's the tragedy is that you know how long have you lived with only 20% of your back doing it all? So you're a more efficient runner with your chest totally locked because you're actually more powerful in terms of how quickly you can pivot your hips around, and then you waste no motion, right? Gumby sucks at running. He said if your back is flexible, you're wasting all this extra motion, like on the show Baywatch. And nobody runs like, flexible, right? Unless you're trying to get on the beach real quickly. Oh, I'll save you. I'm teasing. But my point is that you run with a locked chest, and so that's, the balance was that you need a locked chest to run quickly, but you need a flexible chest to make it to 90.
Right.
Come on, right there. I can tell you where they've cleaned and where they've missed. I can tell you've had some cupping here, and then they maybe not as much over here. They've gotten certain sections cleaned. I like the gua sha because it kind of gets everything. The cupping, you kind of, is the treatment's contained wherever the cup is. I mean, I know they can move the cup around, but I find that this kind of gets everything. What is this not here? Jeez. What is this? I didn't think I was going to find it over there. Huh? Nice. Draw a little arrow here, baby. See if I can draw a little arrow. Yeah. See? Right there. Start having too much fun. funny if I actually can make an arrow.
So what are you feeling like a
There's an injury right here.
Yeah.
That's right there. This was a collision to me. This was something hit this and then creates distortions, or at the very least protection and guarding and stiffness. Right there. Something ran into you. This was a collision. Where did that?
And what it does that to protect it, but then just never goes away?
Well, it puts up walls in anticipation of a future collision. That's right. And so it's the gua sha shows every stain that you've ever had. It brings up all it's like doing I always see shows where they, to restore old cars that have been painted many times, and then they sandblast them, and you see all the patchwork, right? Because underneath the paint is all the previous Bondo and all the repairs that have been made previously. So it's envision that's kind of what the gua sha does. It shows you whatever was underneath the paint. It was covered up. There's an injury right there. That's pretty obvious. You should be suppler than this.
Well, that's exactly what I keep thinking, but nothing I do works.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple physical therapists,
'Cause this is-
chiropractors.
This would be like a 65, 70-year-old, rigidity that I would expect at that age from injuries. But you're too young to have that much tightness in here, so it had to be accelerated, expedited somehow.
But do you believe, even if I have to come back to you every month or something,
Sure.
Am I a lost cause? Or
No. Yeah, I want to teach you how to take care of yourself. That's the main thing is learning how to brush your own teeth, and that's what we're going to do in a minute when we stretch. I'm going to teach you how to. There's a thing called a lumbar dental we're going to use in here, and we might start with a roller, but we'll see if we can attain a dental. And you're going to be using it to emulate my elbow and push on these areas to unlock them. There we go, a little bit. Breathe. You need hours. You need hours of this. You gotta just hang out here.
This is that hunchback thing?
Yep. Well, this is the peak of it. The peak of your slouch is actually right here. This is the peak of it, right there. So the most bang for your buck is gonna be right. It's more than just me, it's lifestyle changes. You're either upright or you're laying down, or you're trying to reduce your amount of time sitting, and all lessen the debt that your body builds up.
I work a lot, so I'm always at the desk. It's just terrible.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll lie on my stomach on the ground,
Good.
kind of like a cobra,
Good, excellent. Oh, that's
I even just got so I was doing this standing desk, but even standing for a
Yeah.
long period of time gets a little funky.
That's right.
So I got a treadmill, so now I'm like walking and standing
Good.
and typing.
good. You're ahead of it. You're ahead of the curve.
Ooh, that hurts. Ugh.
It's all fun and games until you get to the hamstring.
Yeah, hamstrings are terrible. And I'm trying to build them. I've had like an anterior pelvic tilt forever, and so I feel like when I do things like squats, it's all quads. And
Well, again, you're in the wrong position when you're doing a squat. The tilt's happening because of the pressure on the nerves in your back. Your body's compensating and moving the vertebrae into a position of striking those discs away from, nerves. And it's tough.
Ooh.
This is just the.
Oh wow.
This is the right here in the middle back. All that's that rib injury right over there on that left.
Mhm.
This is all inflammation. That's me trying to mash the roller marks.
Is that that green thing?
Yeah, it's me trying to mash because that's where the peak of your misalignment is right in there. That's where we're going to put the dental in a second. we're gonna target that area and try to get that area in, and then also bring your shoulders back.
Okay.
Totally locked, yeah. Too much weight on this toe will jam this toe. Yeah, it's just jammed. That one's moving, okay. Good. And because of the forward posture of your chest and head, too much weight's going down to your big toe, second toe. Okay, that's that injury on the right side of your neck. All right, got your tilt your head left, tilt that left. There we go. Yeah. Tilt your head left. Okay, good. There we go. Some of the YouTube fun stuff. Yeah. Tilt your head to the right for me. There we go.
What does this do?
Tilt your head right. Only after he's done does he. This helps to unlock some of the drainage lines that drain your sinuses down behind your ear. Sinuses, get them flowing and make for cool popping sounds. Hands on your hips for me. I'm just going to see if I can adjust these shoulders a little bit. Press back right here with your elbow into my elbow. There we go.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That was loud.
All right, same thing. Press back in my elbow. There you go. Good. All right, come over here with me. Right over here. Let's go ahead and bring your knees left. Rotate your knees left. There you go. Stretch both together. Keep the knees together though. But yeah, try to rotate left. There you go. And then knees right. Go knees just left. Yeah, move your feet left a little bit. There you go.
Feet left?
Yeah, feet left now. I'll show you.
Come this over
There,
here.
there you go. Then there you go. Stretch.
This one can open up.
I
right?
know. You got work to do. Does that make sense? That's how stiff you are. Yeah, you can almost let this one come up on that one a little bit, but yeah, you wanna really
That doesn't want to move.
right. That's what we gotta work on. Go ahead and bring your knees back up. Try the knees left. Move feet right. There you go. Come on, stretch. Let that right side stretch there. I know.
I'm pushing. Is that what I should be
Please,
doing?
yeah. We got work to do. That's showing you how you've lost range of motion, your ability to rotate. You understand? It's
Right.
like not only is it in the wrong position, but it's frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get it in the right position? We have to first unlock you. I can't change anything if it's frozen, right?
Mhm.
So that's the punishment. And then, adjusting, and then in about 5-10 seconds, bring knees back up. And then then breathe and try to keep those knees together as best you can, exactly as you rotate, man. You can let the right one drop, but try to keep that. Yeah. This is where part of the contraction here is because of this. So it's like you can't ultimately fix that without getting the spine
Right.
healthy. So
Okay.
just be careful with that. I would, in my opinion, we just work on this, and then all of that will slowly stretch out and then
Yeah.
calm down, because this is putting your spine in a healthier position, which will stop pinching the nerves. And then, see, muscles are the boss of nobody. They listen to what the nervous system and the brain are telling them to do. You understand? If you have tendinosis of a muscle, it's because the muscle's being injured, either because of your posture, old traumas, right? But the muscle didn't wake up one morning and say, "Here you go." Something happened to it. Take it. No, your hip's fine. It's not the hip socket. If it was the hip socket, do you understand?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do this.
So hips okay, yeah. Yeah, and I can sit in a squat position, no problem. at
Right.
all.
It's now the muscle contraction will prevent you from being able to stretch because the muscle's not giving, right? But it's not the actual hip socket's not the problem here. You understand? It's not this femoral acetabular joint. I don't feel any restriction in there. It's coming from when you're trying to bend your knees to the side, right? This muscle's not giving here, right? That has to stretch it out. Yeah, right there. Hello.
Yeah, you feel that? Yeah.
Jeez. He's probably damaged these muscles and then they've shortened. So the entire length of the fabric becomes shorter. When you tear a muscle, it heals in a knot, right? Like you have the original length of the tissue is like this piece of fabric, right? When it tears, it heals in a balled up knot. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now the total length of the fabric is shorter. And then it tears again where it connects.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's what it feels like to me. Is like Now the total length is not as long,
Right.
right? So you got to go in here and peel all of these injuries to get back to the original length of the tissue.
Did you wear those shorts?
He's already touched my hamstrings. We have a different relationship right now. People on YouTube are like, wish I could touch his hamstring.
Yeah, I'll show you later when I stand up. When I go into a forward bend position, there's almost like on the hamstring. There's almost like a bubble on the hamstring. It's really weird. I don't like. I guess that's the tendinosis. Maybe does that form like a
Sure,
bubble?
it'll be like a kind of a nodule, a ball of injury. Yeah, like right up here. There it is. It's all up here, babe. Oh, this all has to be lengthened out. This is where you've torn it and it's injured. And
Yeah, there it is.
yeah, it's right up there.
It's got a purple mark.
Yeah, a little better. Yeah, you just gotta lengthen that all out. This is again. I would. If you keep stretching it, it'll lengthen out. You don't.
Yeah.
But if you want to speed up that process, you can dig, Theragun it. You understand, and work. I would be working on this, and then if you can with your left hand or right hand, work this while you're stretching your back. When this is popped out, the neck deneral isn't as effective until you push this in, and then the head deneral becomes more effective. So if you were here in Sarasota, I would spend like a month on this, and then we'd introduce this.
Wow.
This has got to stretch. You just gotta have somebody digging here. You gotta have all this right there.
Boy, that hurts. Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the shoulder won't drop back, and that's why you're noticing the range of motion is deficient. But all of this has to stretch.
Does it make sense that I've twisted arms? I've been told with a masseuse that my arms are twisted.
Well, I would say your shoulder's twisted. The shoulder's rotated forward. Yeah, it's twisted forward, sure. You can come to the edge of the bed and just kind of like scoot towards me a little bit, and then let your arm just kind of, work on your lateral. Just stretch that. Like just let that hang for.
Just to stretch in there.
Yeah. You're limited. Even I know you're better this way, but it's still limited. The AC joint will get jammed in the front here. You might start getting some AC joint pain right there. This will get, the joint gets jammed because the shoulder goes forward so much that.
But does it eventually stay that way? I feel like I've had it done a million times. And
You have to do this for 20 minutes on the deneral. You have to hold this like this. When you're on the deneral,
Yeah.
you have to stretch this. It takes 20 minutes.
Okay.
Put up against the headboard. If you have like the wall here, I usually put my hand again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna work those hands to the ground.
Okay.
That's the only way to change it permanently.
Yeah.
You have to stretch the shoulders back. The muscles have to stretch, but it's really the ligaments around the shoulders have to stretch. You understand? There's calcium and crystals in there that have to be broken loose. It's like frozen shoulder. There's an element of frozen. The joint itself is frozen on the backside that's made the shoulder go forward to get away from all this infiltrate and crystals that are formed on the backside. So that's what you're running into. You're running into like a wall
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah. That's
And you have to go up against that wall and it'll keep moving that wall.
I just had a nice little crack there.
Yeah, you get the idea? Bring that right foot close to the wall. There you go. There you go. This is an exercise you can do at home. You try to, like, you're trying to listen. That makes sense?
Mhm.
You're trying to get your ear,
Yep.
you're not doing head tilt,
Right,
you're not
right.
doing a rotation. You're just trying to put your ear flat to the
Right.
wall. I ultimately, we just want to get the posture fixed, but that's, yeah, you're just trying to hold. All right, now, you come off the wall, let me see here. Let's see, now just, yeah, relax. I mean, yeah, you're definitely more midline now than, but yeah, you gotta, it takes time to hold that. You gotta hold about a set of 10 times. If you wanna work on that at home, head right. I would work on this down roll though. I'd work on getting your chest
That's first.
upright,
Right.
and then we're gonna work on the neck curve. We gotta get this, part of it's the head's forward. We gotta get the head back, and we're compensating because there's neck injuries and disc injuries in there. So, all right, brother. Wow, it's a lot.
Yeah, thank
a lot.
you.
How you feeling? How's it going?
Great, yeah, feel okay.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, buddy.